At 1:52 a.m., deep in the Rocky Mountains, the blizzard had already erased the road leading to Jack Nolan's cabin. Snow pressed against the windows in heavy sheets, muffling the forest until the world felt sealed off from time itself. Jack slept lightly, the way men trained for chaos never truly stopped listening. At 41, he carried the quiet strength of someone who had survived more than he spoke about. His Navy SEAL days were behind him, but discipline still shaped every movement, every breath. The knock came once, slow, uneven. Jack's eyes opened instantly. Not fear, recognition. The sound wasn't wind. It wasn't a falling branch. It was deliberate. His hand found the jacket hanging by the door as memory stirred in his chest. He stood, moving through the dark cabin without turning on a light, boots silent against the wood floor. The second knock came weaker. Jack reached the door and paused, fingers resting against the latch. He had come to the mountains to disappear. To leave missions, commands, and consequences behind. Opening that door meant stepping back into responsibility. Closing it meant choosing silence. He opened the door. Cold exploded inside, snow whipping past his face as the storm surged forward. For a moment there was only darkness. Then his eyes adjusted. A German shepherd stood at the threshold. She was massive even as she trembled. Her dark coat was crusted with snow and streaked with dried blood. One foreleg bent at a painful angle, shaking beneath her weight. Steam rose from her mouth with every shallow breath. She didn't bark. She didn't whine. She stood there as if this door were the last instruction she had been given. Jack crouched slowly. Up close the damage was worse. Scar tissue traced her neck where a collar had once cut too deep. Her breathing hitched as a visible contraction rolled through her body. His hand brushed her side and stopped. Her belly was swollen. Tight. Pregnant. Jack felt his pulse spike, not with panic but understanding. This wasn't chance. This was intent. The dog swayed, strength finally giving out, and began to collapse. Jack moved without hesitation, lifting her with a grunt as snow swallowed his boots. He carried her inside, kicking the door shut behind them, sealing the storm outside. As the fire crackled to life, Jack knelt beside her, realizing with certainty that whatever had been buried in these mountains had just found him. The cabin filled with heat slowly, firelight casting long shadows across the wooden walls. Jack laid the German shepherd near the hearth, spreading blankets beneath her trembling body. Her breathing was uneven, labored, but her eyes stayed sharp, watchful, intelligent, disciplined even in pain. Jack worked methodically. He cut away matted fur from her injured leg, rinsing the wound with warmed water. The damage was severe but controlled. No wild tearing. No signs of struggle. Whoever hurt her had been precise. Professional. She endured the pain in silence. Jack noticed it immediately. This wasn't instinct alone. This was training layered so deeply that even agony didn't break it. When another contraction seized her, her muscles locked, a low sound escaping before she forced it back down. He fed another log into the stove, jaw tight. Pregnancy. In any official program he'd known, that alone marked AK-9 as non-operational. A liability. He remembered the briefings. The language stripped clean of emotion. Asset viability. Replacement timelines. He stayed beside her as the storm raged outside, counting breaths, timing contractions, doing what he could with what he had. Somewhere near dawn the first pup arrived, small, slick, barely moving. Jack cleared its airway gently, rubbing until a thin cry broke through the cabin. Wife. The mother nudged the pup closer with her nose, instinct taking over. The second came quickly, weaker, followed by a third that nearly didn't make it. Jack worked frantically, hands shaking now, until the tiny chest finally rose and fell. 3 pups. Alive. The mother collapsed back, exhausted beyond measure. Her breathing slowed, then stuttered. Jack pressed his palm to her ribs, feeling for movement. Memory slammed into him, men left behind, chests that never rose again. Stay, he whispered, voice breaking. After endless seconds her chest lifted. Weak, but real. Morning arrived pale and quiet. As Jack adjusted the blankets, he noticed something wrong with the collar still around her neck. He loosened it carefully and found a small black device embedded beneath the leather. A tracker. The screen flickered to life, displaying coordinates, logs, and a status label that made his stomach turn. Non-viable. Pregnancy hadn't been an accident. It had been a sentence. Jack straightened slowly as headlights cut through the clearing outside. A vehicle approached the cabin, followed by another. The truth, it seemed, was no longer content to stay buried. The knock this time was controlled. Confident. Jack positioned himself between the door and the K9 before opening it. A man stood outside, tall and composed, his coat untouched by snow. His expression carried practiced authority. "That animal belongs to a program I oversee," the man said calmly. "She shouldn't be here." Jack didn't move. "She walked here," he replied. "That makes her not yours." Before the man could respond, another vehicle pulled in. A woman stepped out, mid-30s, focused eyes bundled against the cold. She introduced herself as Dr. Claire Morgan, a veterinarian. "That K9 is flagged missing," Claire said evenly. "Along with others. All female. All pregnant." Silence tightened the air. Within hours, federal agents arrived. Evidence was logged. The tracker data uploaded. The man was escorted away in cuffs, his authority evaporating under scrutiny. Inside, Claire examined the mother and pups, her hands steady. "They're strong," she said softly. "Stronger than they should be." Jack watched the K9 curl protectively around her litter, her body a shield built from instinct and resolve. What had once been labeled a defect now breathed quietly beside the fire. Justice, when it came, arrived without spectacle. Spring came slowly to the mountains. Snow retreated, revealing earth and stubborn green shoots beneath. Jack stayed. The cabin changed under his care, becoming less a refuge and more a shelter. Word spread quietly. Other K9s arrived, discarded, unwanted, deemed unfit. Jack met each one the same way, with patience and presence. Claire worked beside him, documenting, restoring, advocating. Together they ensured no life vanished without record again. The mother K9 regained her strength, watching everything with calm vigilance. Jack named her one evening without ceremony. She accepted it without question. On a quiet morning, sunlight filled the clearing. Jack opened the door wide and didn't tense. If something knocked again, he knew what he would do. He would open the door and stay.